Good morning, afternoon or evening. This is a replay of the recent Champion of the Kingdom event held on Donny's Discord, which is a monthly event that you can join by following the link in the description. I hope you enjoy. So, we start off in the Stone Age as always, scouting around our base, building our houses in a wall, spawning near water. Pretty much all the participants, which are shown here, have spawned near with water somewhere, some sort of access to it. Except from Nuri down here. This is actually Timon, sorry for any confusion caused, this is Nuri in the top left. We've got Makoko and X-Factor Live back here, who only joined for a short amount of time. I start getting my first barrack up, and seeing as I'm not going to be focusing on iron a huge amount, at the start I only put 10 workers on just so I can age up and get heavy spears. Nuri also, at this point, has scouted me. I have only just found his territory. Pip over here is going for a Sipak rush, trying to wall himself off to stop any early attacks. As you can see, Pip begins his wall. I attack, and some heavy spearmen are made by Nuri, which I don't realise that they're heavy spears. But instead of fighting them, I just get rid of houses, which causes a lot more damage than just fighting the spears. I also start the Iron Age upgrade soon, and send 4 workers to build a big wall to wall myself off, as at this point I have not discovered Olvi, as I haven't scouted past Nuri's base back here. Nuri starts rebuilding his houses quickly and fighting animals off, while I struggle with resources, and I still haven't queued up the Iron Age upgrade, making me fall behind even further in comparison to other players who are all Iron Age at this point. Nuri sends an attack, and I'm pretty confident, so I just go and counter, but unknowing that they're heavy spearmen, my spears get absolutely slaughtered, unfortunately, and he starts taking out my barracks, and since I'm not even Iron Age yet, I don't have any powerful upgrades or units, such as heavy spearmen, which would help me here. He also finds the path I built. I should probably have not built that. I only just hit Iron Age at this point, and Pip's Sipaks start closing in. I soon finish off my wall, and at this point I'm pretty sure I'm going to die. I start out repairing, but Pip, instead of slowly wearing away my houses and trying to force his way in, he goes for Nuri, seeing that his army is at my base. Nuri pulls his army back to try to defend against the Sipaks, which goes straight in and chase down his workers, and the Sipaks can easily kill most units. I finish off my wall here, stopping any more Sipaks from Pip, and restabilize my base and economy, while Nuri dies. Pip secures the first kill of the game. At this point I still haven't noticed Olvi, who is hiding over here without my knowledge, and he slowly just develops without even building an army. Only a few junks, which he proceeds to pester our coastlines with, such as over here, and also Timon's. Pip continues to attack Makoko and reptiles, and Olvi starts getting rid of his fishing economy, and then sends a few junks up to my fishing economy to finish mine off as well. As I've only just hit Eastern Europe, I'm again far behind the enemies, and Olvi begins to scout. I don't think he's found me at this point, which is quite good. There's the territories. X-Factor had also almost walled off Timon from his base. He was just trolling this whole game, I believe. As you can see, the land here is very close. You could stand units on either side here. And the junks get in my fishing eco. I tried to pull my fishing boats back, but I lose them all. Everyone at this point has lost their fishing ecos to Olvi, and Sipaks have entered our enemy's base. I also prioritise upgrading my wall, and the junks start taking out Pip's towers for some reason. But at this point, West Asia, he only has elephants and ballistas to get through that wall, and seeing as he hasn't seemed to be showing any aggression towards me, I'm just hoping he holds off, as I've only got 21 heavy spears to defend myself. Here, Timon is attacked by all these junks again, and Makoko dies to an attack from Pip, I believe. I start building piers over here, just so I have them, and I can maybe secure a bit of fishing, as Pip isn't doing that. Pip doesn't use any fishing at all this game, I don't believe. Olvi still hasn't made an army, and is still behind his first wall that he's only just upgraded, which is completely fine, as he's got naval dominance, and doesn't know about me, and I don't know about him. I continue making workers, putting them on my wood line. I now have 44 workers on my wood line, and I'm not making units, just some galleys, and my wood is still struggling somehow, with 44 workers on wood. Absolute magic to me. Some galleys made by Timon over here to protect his fishing, which is non-existent at this point. And my galleys, which I sent to scout to try find where the enemies are. And I do realise at this point that me and Pip have walled off this choke point completely, stopping any sort of combat between us two. Here I've not even started the late medieval upgrade, and East Asia warships are now attacking me, resulting in, again, me losing my fishing eco and having no counter to that. I did research crossbows, and I will start making crossbows and archers soon to defend myself against any elephants, which are coming soon from Pip, and also ships and any landings, as I can stand the crossbows at the coastline and 1 or 2 shot any sort of landing crafts. Also a quick tip, apparently when the warship stops moving to fire, it does extra damage because more units come out when it does to fire. But I haven't seen that in action yet, so let's see if I can find that. It doesn't seem like it, but the towers are a brilliant counter to warships. As you can see, one tower managed to take this warship down to half health, because they don't do very much building damage and they don't have much range, they have to get very close. But they do wear away with their fast firing rate. And so they finish off the tiger and destroy my pier, but my 27 archers that I spammed are now out and ready to help me counter this, as it's only going to cut off a few of my workers. I've also started my late medieval upgrade, and I'm building more houses around my town hall like this, which I try to do all the time to prevent any elephants or tanks from getting in without, well, trying to slow them down a little bit. And I managed to destroy a few of the warships before he pulls back, as he doesn't really have much of a target, as each warship here is worth a lot more than my archers. So it's a good trade. Militiamen are now being sent into Timon's base. It's very confusing with Neri's name, very sorry about that. But Pip here gets his Sipak and Elephant Rammer army up. No one has hit IR at this point, I don't believe. Sorry. Olvi has, as he hasn't made an army, only ships. And my scouting galleys fire a few times at this warehouse. Scare the workers away, but other than that, not really anything but just some scouting. I'm about to hit late medieval age when I get attacked by elephants. As I don't have a gate, they've got to destroy every single wall piece manually, but as they're elephants it doesn't take too long. and I straight away start spamming more crossbows and stop production of archers, get my pikemen out and my militia to attack. I prioritise the sipaks as the elephants can't get into my base too easily, but at this point I don't have any wood, so I can't repair in case he does get into my town hall, which he very easily does as I haven't walled off here. He starts attacking my town hall, but because of the placement of the houses around it, he can't get in, so I sent my workers to continue working on the wood line, bring my army back, and continue repairing all my food workers, while the elephants get cut down by crossbows and pikes. An unsuccessful but close attack from Pip there. I don't quite repair my town hall to full as I don't have the resources at that moment. Olvi also gets machine controllers out. We still haven't found each other over this land passage. And he also gets a few barracks as Japan. I begin the industrial age upgrade and send a counterattack at Pip, but because he's got a gate I can't do anything at all, unfortunately. He's also got loads of trawlers here, which are not doing anything. Seems a bit of a waste of population. But now he's moving them, and I tried to take out the wall, but even with crossbows firing at it, it's not very much. Building damage of 10, and it's got an average armor thickness of 16, so. Some sipaks from Timon attacking Pip, but because of Pip's base building, they can't get in anywhere, and they just get slowly whittled away. But they do manage to kill a lot of his workers here, as he ran out of space in his towers. Olvi starts making the mistake of getting the territory upgrades, which exposes him to my sightline, as I notice the orange here, and I start freaking out as I'm not even IR yet. So very soon I'll be pulling my army back, wherever it is here. I'll be pulling my army back to defend against a potential landing, as that's what I thought was going on. I repair the breach in my wall and start building towers, and Pip hits India here. He seems to be struggling on his wood eco as he lost a lot of his woodworkers here, almost all of them actually. So he's now set back and I don't expect an attack from him. Timon goes to Turkey and Reptile goes Russia, just like me. Olvi starts going IR2 very soon and goes for the wonder of the world. His wall at this point has become useless as he's reached the wood line. And I'm about to hit IR. Way late compared to everyone else. Here's my army. I notice the territory once he gets another upgrade or builds a tower, I believe. As you can see, the wood line is falling apart, leaving his base quite open to any tanks. The only issue would be how cramped his base is. I also start upgrading my workers at the front line so I can continue building defences along there, just in case Pip does try to do some sneaky elephant attack or something. He's got elephant machine gunners now, which are quite hard for me to counter as Russia, seeing his death sides don't do enough damage, and my only real counter are howitzers. Some IR soldiers and partisans coming out now, and cannons from Timon destroying Makoko's base for some reason. So as you can see, everyone's IR. Some are struggling on resources. I'm not struggling too much, but I want to keep some just in case I need to spam some archers or something. Some combat here between Timon and Reptile, between Sarbaz and his army of pikes. But towers being put up around his resources means that the archers are pretty much useless, as the machine guns cut them down with ease. A lot of mission controllers being produced by Olvi, stopping Timon from being able to effectively fish. Olvi also lands and starts using Timon's resources up here and building barracks, probably to make use of this wall and make, let's see what he's making. Yeah, light trench mortars, but he's got no iron. He's also going IR2 with a huge economy but no iron. Pip is struggling on most resources but iron because of his attacks and being attacked. Reptile is doing very well on resources, keeping a balanced economy, and Timon is also doing quite well on his resources, even though his food eco is struggling slightly. Not X Factor, spectate me. As you can see, the first light trench mortars are coming out and getting ready to attack, and more mission controllers attacking Timon's army in the sea. I managed to get the rest of my houses upgraded and continue to build a vision tower. I've also got a couple bombardiers here just to help out with any attacks. I was being quite hopeful there. A massive army here from Reptile with just really cheap spam units. And as you see, the light trench mortars are firing in on what's left of X Factor's broken base. Pip is keeping a lot of elephant machine gunners ready around his base, just in little groups, just in case an attack was to come. But at the moment everyone's at a bit of a stalemate, with walls and defences being built. But Timon here can be destroyed from the sea quite easily with some dreadnoughts or something, as he doesn't have much of a defence except from a few artillery towers, which is building quite close to his coast. As you can see, his eco is also getting destroyed here, and at this point Olvi is found out by Timon, most likely probably because of his lack of sneakiness. You can see all the explosions going on, and this is inside Timon's territory. But Olvi manages to destroy his fishing eco and cause a large distraction. I start destroying a few barracks and producing howitzers to defend my choke point here with Pip, and building anti-tank lines to stop any elephants getting in. Still wary of Pip, but at this point I think he was hoping I don't attack him, as all he has for an army is some elephant machine gunners. Not a huge amount, but still a threat. Yeah, at this point I notice all these territory expansion, and I pull my whole army back with the howitzers to push into Olvi's base. Tons of warehouses here, and no army, which could result in a really bad time for Olvi. I've got a decent economy now, getting the territory upgrades and then the IR2 upgrade to go to USSR. Olvi probably could have just attacked with his light trench mortars, stood right next to this wall and destroyed his city hall with 1 or 2 volleys, but instead he attacked X Factor's base, which gave Timon lots of time to prepare. I also start tower pushing a little bit and getting the vision upgrades, and my attack of pikes and crossbows to try and slow down Olvi, as he's only just been noticed by me with no land forces. You can also see the elephants now cutting down pikemen in the middle. Just a bit of a suicide attack there from the pikes, wasting their ammo, I guess. I start my IR2 upgrade and start making soldiers to perform a landing with steamboats. I push out this way to figure out how much territory the enemy has, and also try defend myself, as I've got my house walls up now, and I do start building more eventually. I get my iron mines going, so I don't have to rely on iron income as much. This might have been a mistake, because I do run out of wood completely. Olvi is still sieging Timon here, but because of the slow attack, he lost most of his light trench mortars to cavalrymen, because of their huge minimum range and quite weak armour. The cavalrymen do quite well against them with 16 damage, and also the splash damage attacks. But the machine gun towers do quite well to defend them, and he also starts making some machine gunners, which also produces some up here, I believe, once I start attacking him. Here's my full army at this point, and I've now dedicated my attack to Olvi as he's hit the Wonder of the World. I'm not quite sure what he was doing with his workers there. He pulled all his woodworkers forward. He's also hit the Wonder, and he starts making Sentokus, which are a huge threat as they can shut down any sort of naval attack I have planned. As you can see, I move all my artillery and infantry back, while my two workers here continue building defences slowly. I try to find an easy way in, but instead just go straight in just a second, and with the soldiers and howitzers I try to destroy his machine gun towers and as many workers as possible. I send my medieval units in. He sends all his workers at me to build a tower straight in front of my soldiers. But because of the huge amount of machine gun towers and a few submachine gunners, the medieval units just get completely deleted. And what's left of my army is here, 27 partisans, some soldiers, and 6 howitzers, which might have been able to do something, but because the submachine gunners counter all my infantry, it was quite ineffective. I start making death scythes soon, once I start spamming some machine gunners here. And the combat here is still going ahead, but with Sentokus now, which will be able to send really good attacks at the artillery towers. As you can see, the Sentokus are not used at all. I think that's a miss micro there, as he just lost a lot of resources and training time. I start building my first steamboat and getting the grenade upgrade for my attack, and I push in with some partisans to get a scope of his defences, which is mostly relying on a few machine gun towers and some machine gunners. I probably should have just pulled back with my howitzers at this point, but instead I continue to push forward, and I lose them to the submachine gunners, which very quickly wipe them out. Instead of pulling back at this point, I know I can't kill them, so I just destroy a few houses, get a few more shots off. I send some cheaper partisans forward to slow him down, and my economy is stabilised now. Some more combat between Pip and Reptile, with Katyushas being made, and also soldiers and partisans to defend against elephant trench mortars and elephant machine gunners. Timon is winning the engagement against Olvi on his island, and Olvi has managed to push me back here as well. but my steamboat will be ready soon to push out and try to do a landing on someone, as pretty much everyone is susceptible to a landing. If you land here, I could push my soldiers and blow up his town hall. If I land here, which is a bit more difficult because of the artillery towers, or I could land anywhere along this coastline and try sneak in with bomber support. And on Olvi, I could land anywhere along his coastline near his town hall. 29 partisans and 27 soldiers to just stand there and try deterring the attacks. I could probably have attacked, but I knew that the submachine gunners would just counter me instantly, even such a small amount. They're very good against infantry. My squadron cannons start getting made to defend me against any Sentokus, and I can then start making more partisans and more soldiers to load my steamboat. Still constant combat between Olvi and Timon on the island, which is diverting a lot of Timon's attention. As you can see, submarines have been made to defend against potential attacks from Yamatos and Sentokus. My squadron cannons and my attack will soon push forward, but because of the submachine gunners, which are extremely powerful against Russia, if microed correctly, because of the death size, they're very good. I continue increasing my economy with only 12 workers on food. I rely quite heavily on my fishing. And I didn't load my steamboats up at this point because I thought I could kill him like this, but you'll see that the submachine gunners rip my infantry apart. As shown here, the submachine gunners have already killed a huge amount of my soldiers, and with each volley about 5 partisans die. And because they can be split off into like groups of 3, the good micro, the death sides are quite useless against them. So a great trade here. He destroyed my whole army and didn't lose much of his own. I then start building guest size in counter to that, and will start loading up my steamboats soon. I've also got my squadron cannons to shoot down things from afar, but he just attacks with submachine gunners as I should have expected. Pip now has a very large army of elephants, which could be threatening to me, and but it doesn't quite attack anyone with them. 31 minutes till Olvi wins with the Wonder, and I'm trying to hold off his submachine gunners, which counter everything I can make except from, well, even tanks struggling a little bit. I start building airfields to bomb the coastlines to get my landings done, and I start losing my fishing economy a little bit. I lost a few fishing boats up here. As you can see, the soldiers just don't stand a chance against the submachine gunners with their high damage, high range, and high fire rate. My first death sides are out, which you'd think are a great counter, but not the most perfect, not as perfect as I would have hoped. I move my steamboat and start sending machine gun trawlers to harass his economy. I also start making bombers to bomb Pip's vision tower eventually, so I can do a landing somewhere. And Timon does an attack soon on Reptile. You can see here a huge amount of his submachine gunners got wiped out to my death sides, but he just falls back to his towers and his base where he can just reproduce the submachine gunners very quickly. I now have 52 soldiers, and I load them into a steamboat, and a last ditch attempt before abandoning a landing and dedicating myself to T-34s. Olvi intercepts me on the way, stopping me, and I managed to pull away as he wasn't watching those machine gunners. As the steamboat is normally able to get away, he starts chasing me but pulls away, realizing that I'm not attacking him, and seeing as it's a free-for-all, any attacks not heading towards you are good. As you can see, he just pulls away. And I start heading over to Timon's base, unknowing that he has a decent coastal defense system in place. The Wonder looks great. Just thought I'd have to say that. I'm now starting to struggle a little bit on my resources and continue to make more units as I'm getting ready for another landing, this time on Olvi, just in case. But my steamboat here gets shot down, I believe. I tried to land it here, but I think I lost track of it after I didn't see it for quite a while. Yeah, so he gets shot down by light cannons, I believe. Artillery towers, that is. And I lose 50 soldiers to that. If I had attacked here, I could have landed and run along here, dodging the attacks. I might have been able to snipe him. A large-scale attack from Olvi now, with light trench mortars and some machine gunners forces my steamboat to leave now, with 50 soldiers, and my death sides do quite well against the submachine gunners. But either way, I'm starting to struggle on my food eco, so I can't quite spam loads of units, and I can't use my planes to much effect as they just get shot down by submachine gunners. But I prioritise shooting the light trench mortars, and my own submachine gunners are left to deal with the enemy submachine gunners. I sent my steamboat straight in here, unknowing that he's got squadrons of machine gun boats just around his entire base. Only 18 minutes left before Olvi wins, and I send my T-34s in, which I was trying to stack up a bit more. With only 8 of them, they take quite a lot of damage from his light trench mortars on the way, but it saves me as they're, well, not saves, but you know, it pulls them away and saves any workers that would be killed. But because he sees them here, he starts building a really fast anti-tank line. I should have just gone down this way, but I didn't know I could even head this way. My steamboat starts getting shot, so I have to go around the range of these. And my T-34s just get shot by the light trench mortars as I can't get in. I start bombing his workers to try and force a way in, and I send my steamboat all the way around his mission controllers while wasting time with my T-34s. Look how many workers he has here building so many anti-tank traps. This one I don't believe is finished, so I managed to destroy it, but all the other ones are done. But I can see this wood line, which I start to break down, and I send my bombers to help break that wood line down, as you can see here. But the T-34s are pretty damaged at this point, and I try to force my way in, but 1 or 2 trees are still blocking me here, and I bomb my own tanks with my bombers, seeing as this is really not my concern. Microing this steamboat here so it can actually land is the biggest concern. I managed to get through with a few T-34s, but it doesn't really matter as my steamboat now is pretty much there. I decided to take the damage from this mission controller and just hope he doesn't get a notification for it. I also start getting a large economy up, and Reptile has to leave at that point. He doesn't get killed. But Pip starts making loads of wheeled tanks and elephants, and starts a large attack on Timon, while my steamboat is a screen away from the shoreline, and Olvi has not noticed. I send a few workers to destroy the anti-tank trap, which they do, but the light trench mortars destroy it quickly. He still hasn't noticed my steamboat, which is brilliant for me. And because he's Japan, he didn't expect to see attack from the shores. I send my 50 soldiers in, throw one volley of grenades, which takes it below half health. He still doesn't notice, and I kill him with the last few soldiers. Now Timon has the Wonder of the World. I'm upgrading all my towers to defend me against any elephants, hopefully, and I delete all my soldiers here, as they are now useless. I probably could have left the steamboat, but I wouldn't be able to land anywhere anyway with this good defense. Timon starts making steam debarkers, deletes them after seeing that Olvi dies, and yeah, so that's Olvi done, and I now pull back all of my army, as there's nothing left up there for me. And Pip starts breaking through Timon's defences, which are mostly consisting of towers, walls, and Zambaraks, which are all easily countered with elephants, unfortunately for him. The elephants here clean up all the workers, while the trench mortars and wheeled tanks come in to get through with the buildings. And seeing as Timon doesn't have any sort of anti-tank defense, which is pretty much what you need to use against elephants, his attacks are pretty much useless. 24 kills on the Katyushas here, which is brilliant. I also set up a dock here and a steamboat, and I have my fishing. I go destroy this vision tower so that Pip can't see the steamboats. I should probably have attacked now, but I didn't know about this huge attack going on. He starts breaking through here, and it's a clean shot straight to his base now. I think he manages to hold off the wheeled tanks here, but I doubt it. Here the elephants are breaking through, going straight into his base. The artillery towers just aren't enough at the elephant's huge armour, and well, high armour for an elephant that is, and high health. I also start spamming soldiers. I should probably have just stood them over here, so they're easy to get on the steamboat. That's not what happens. Pip is completely distracted over here, hence why I decide to go and attack him. And even without bothering to repair until the last second, Timon is destroyed by the wheeled tanks and elephant trench mortars. It's a slow process, but he does get there. As soon as seeing this brilliant news pop up in chat, I send my steamboat and all my bombers to destroy the vision tower to try and stop that. But Pip has some machine gunners which could easily stop me if I didn't bomb them. I land with 50 soldiers. He doesn't have the production to make 6 fast enough, and the wheeled tanks are just not enough to destroy them with the few elephants he does have. And I managed to destroy Pip's base, resulting in my victory. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoy, and no, cut that last little bit out. If you're interested in joining a massive free-for-all like this, join the Discord, which is in the description, and this is a monthly event that is held, and the winner gets the Champion of the Kingdom role and also a country code, but not currently. So, thank you everyone for watching, enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.